What's up, everyone? Happy Turkey Day. This is our special Thanksgiving gift to you all. Invisible Walls on a special day, Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. I know you guys are all probably full of turkey and tryptophan.
And tofu.
Hopefully, yeah.
Turducken.
Turducken, there you go.
Hopefully you guys can all stay awake for this episode. Hopefully you will not watch the football games that are on, and you will watch this episode of Invisible Walls. This is our second annual Thanksgiving Day extravaganza. It's a short episode, so we're not going to take too much of your time away from your families. If you're traveling on the road to see grandma or whatever, hopefully this will make your ride a little better. So this episode is going to be short. We just wanted to make sure we got something out to you guys for the holidays. We're going to go over stuff that we're thankful for. We're going to name a few turkeys, and we're going to talk about probably the biggest turkey of Q4 so far. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Sleep now. Your day is done.
All right, boys, it is Turkey Day, and I think everybody here has many, many things to be thankful for. I think most of all, having a job is something we should all be thankful for at this
especially in California, where unemployment just hit 12.5%.
Yeah.
1 in 8 people are unemployed.
Yeah.
But we're still going to go around the horn. That's the obvious one, I think.
Yeah. Now for the cheerful stuff. This is the happy segment, remember?
If you're unemployed, more time to play video games, right?
Yeah.
It's just you can't afford them.
You just can't pay for them. So, Marcus, what are you most thankful for this year?
I'm actually thankful for a lot of games slipping into next year.
I can see that.
Because
Which is something we probably never would have said before, right?
Yeah, I mean, people are moaning and groaning, and the NPD sales are doing well, but it's allowed me for the first time to really sort of play every big release and play it in depth, and I've still got some games to go through. But then we've got this first quarter, indeed this first half of next year, that's going to be absolutely friggin' awesome. I know from the perspective of everybody here in the office, January, February is always like the quiet time, but now there's we come back from vacation, these great games to play.
Yeah, usually we're scrounging in January and February for relevant content.
Yeah, so I'm just really thankful. I think it actually makes a lot of sense, and I hope this time next year that we're in the same position, because we need a market that runs for 8 months a year. I mean, yeah, you've got the summer break, but if you launch stuff early in the year and you feel, I'm missing out on holiday sales, well, you go back and you do a Game of Year edition, or you bundle the expansion packs, and you double dip twice later on the year and catch those sort of like gift sales. So I want this to happen every year. I would much rather have a really balanced sort of like fall, winter, spring, and early summer than just have everything crammed into 6 or 8 weeks.
Hear, hear. I'm all for that. Brooks, who's also on the show today, what are you thankful for, bro?
I am thankful for the number 2. Without it, we would not have all these glorious sequels we got going on this year. We got Assassin's Creed 2, Modern Warfare 2, Uncharted 2, and not necessarily a 2, but we got a new Mario. So, the software lineup for this holiday season has me switching back and forth between platforms and consoles. I can't decide what I want to play when I go home.
As long as it's not original content.
Exactly, you're like that.
Hey, I'm being entertained, and that's all that matters.
You've got a game that's new, a brand new IP. It's original. Brooks will not like that.
I like Borderlands 2. We had a lot of fun.
No, Borderlands
as well.
Borderlands 1 as well, on top of my pile. Yes.
Ryan Stevens is here today. What are you thankful for,
I am thankful for, my big thanks goes to Demon's Souls being a critical and commercial success. You hear the word sleeper hit thrown around a lot, but I think...
Which usually means about 80,000 copies
sold.
But
the commercial side usually doesn't ever... I mean, I can think Katamari, Puzzle Quest, but few and far between games actually pierce through to that. So I'm hoping there's going to be a sequel. And I just want to take this time to say that I'm thankful for some of our video editors, some of the unsung heroes. We have Blake cutting the show almost every week. We have John Smith cutting...
3 cheers for Blake.
Especially going back to when we talked about the Disney Marvel takeover, Blake was responsible for that shot when Wolverine was shot in the back and you see Mickey Mouse
doing
that face and that little laugh. That is all Blake, and the guy's got a wicked sense of humor.
We got John Smith doing these crazy Modern Warfare 2 pop blocks. We have Marco cutting things like a little
a
machine.
maniac.
Yeah, he is a machine.
Aaron doing the bonus round and stuff, and we have a bunch of great guys. James, who's been here forever.
James, who is probably the most knowledgeable about games among our editing staff, and his expertise pays off big time. And I think a lot of people that watch the show or come to GameTrailers don't really realize that our editors, we have the vision, we write the stuff down, but they're the ones that actually make the stuff happen in the end.
They're our tool set.
They are.
But not tools.
No.
And we have a
depends on
lot
how
of great
much they have to
editors,
drink.
and I'm thankful we have them here. Stephanie's a girl, which is cool.
Stephanie's an attractive girl,
And then
which is really cool.
Double.
we're gonna get in trouble with the HR.
I'm freelance.
That's right.
Good point. And we got some new guys. Don's been helping out on Invisible Walls. He's been doing a great job, and just want to say thanks to all these guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And I guess that brings it to me. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for first of all, you guys, because this show was kind of
You're crying now.
No, I mean, this show was
Mario
kind of a
hats.
lame-brained idea that I had at one point, and it really takes all you guys to make it happen. I'm thankful for Johnny C., who sits in on this show and does the audio every week and very rarely gets to go on the show. And without the personalities of you guys on the show would be nothing. So I'm really appreciative of you guys.
Well, it's about time you recognized, seriously.
Well, you guys know I love. I also appreciate all the people who come and watch the show every week. Without you guys, the show just would cease to exist. Without people watching it, we have no reason to make it. So thank you very much on this Turkey Day for supporting Invisible Walls and for supporting GameTrailers. And thanks you guys for making the show so great. And as far as games are concerned, I think this year I'm really thankful for my PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I mean, this is finally the year the system came into its own. I think there's a lot of people out there now that maybe don't have one that are kind of envious and wish they did have one. Hopefully with the price drop, they can all get one. I think everyone's realizing now that all the stuff Sony was saying, like even when it did cost a lot of money, that it was worth the money then, and it's definitely worth the money now. So glad that I have one, glad that I can watch Blu-rays on it, glad I'm playing all the exclusive games for it.
With
that's it.
tomorrow being Black Friday here in the US, there are actually a lot of really good bundles for the PS3 right now. Whereas I've seen some with the God of War collection, some with really big hard drives. So yeah, if you haven't got it and you got the cash, definitely get it. The one thing I will say is I'm irked about the PS3 still having to stream through a Netflix disc for at least the next month.
Yeah, they'll get that sorted out though.
Yeah, they'll say they'll have it done by Christmas, but it's just
and again,
annoying.
it's free. I pay $50 a year for my Xbox Live account, so I can expect some delays and some hitches here and there, and it's not going to bother me that much because I'm not paying any money for it.
It's my only little quibble. Right.
Hopefully, we can project that onto the GameTrailers users, who also will realize that GameTrailers is free. Free!
Free as a bird.
And now we're going to turn the tables, and we're going to name our turkeys for 2009. And that's generally a person, a product, a thing that didn't exactly trip our triggers this year. And Marcus, I'll send it to you for your turkey.
How long have you got? How long is this show today?
We have 20 minutes.
I have a double turkey award today.
How did I know that was going to be the case?
That's because I'm really smart and witty and clever and sexy.
I don't know about sexy. You can have the others.
Thank you. Backhanded compliment there. All right, so the first one, I mean, the first turkey, everybody is probably going to expect this because I've been ragging on this guy all year. It's Bobby Kotick.
Surprise, surprise!
He is
enough money to get you murdered.
But yeah, everything he has said this year, everything's come out of his mouth this year. And I'm not picking Activision, and I'm not picking their products as turkeys because there are good people working at Activision, good people making games, working their asses off. My problem is with this Felch monkey,
The management,
the upper management guy who just keeps on spouting off all this stuff, and he is a damning indictment, I feel, of everything that's wrong with the video game industry, where it's they don't really care about bringing out real quality games. I know people say, Modern Warfare is fantastic and Prototype and all these other games, but I think everything he said about gamers being if you make games, they shouldn't be fun. You shouldn't have fun making them, and we're going to take all our franchises and we don't need consoles. And so anyway, all right, so he's the first one, and the second one is actually sort of like come in the last week, and I got to say it's John Riccitiello at EA, simply because.
Which is weird because I kind of look at him as someone who improved EA.
He has improved. He's improved the quality of EA's output. That's fair. But anybody who signs off on firing almost 2,000 staff the month before Christmas, I'm sorry. And EA, it's not as if they're still hurting for money. I mean, they just spent $300 million the acquisition of a social gaming site. I'm like, really? Could you not have kept people on board till after Christmas and try to find them some other products? And maybe if you looked at doing some additional cool products. You can find jobs for these. I mean, the fact that he took charge of EA, got EA to buy Pandemic, and then last week closed down Pandemic, putting 200 people out. In addition, 1,500 people got the shunt from EA, including a bunch of people I know and I've worked with in the past who are now, basically sitting there in the build-up to the holiday season where they should be having fun with their families, and they're like, what the hell am I going to do?
Are you EA spouse?
No, I am not EA spouse. I have never diddled anybody from EA, but I do have some really good friends there who actually lost their jobs in the last couple of weeks. And having been in the situation where people are losing their jobs for Christmas, whether it's me or people I know, it's just not right.
And it's just a scary time in general to lose your job. I mean, because it's not like there's a plethora of jobs out there to
Is
get.
this the underlying theme of today's episode?
We're thankful for our jobs. Yes.
We are thankful. I mean, we're in a very lucky position. I mean, let's face it, a lot of things are in the toilet right now. So
yeah, I don't think we can ignore the social conditions of our country on this show. I mean, it's a big part of everyone's lives that watch and listen to the show. So.
Yeah, and it's good people who are getting the jobs. People actually are losing their jobs. People who know their shit. And while these people are losing their jobs and people like Kotick are keeping their jobs, that's a problem. So those are my 2 turkeys of the year, and I think they are well deserved. And my rant is off. Brooks, humor.
Nailed it. My first turkey award is going to go to Nintendo because they failed to impress me at this year's E3.
You're still butthurt over E3.
A little bit, yeah. Only now are they starting to say, hey, look forward to 2010 because at E3 we're going to announce this major Zelda, update.
Right, they're like, wait until July of next year.
Wait another 8 months and we'll hit you with something good, And the Wii just turned 3 years old last week.
Which is the median age of people who play it.
Yeah.
Oh!
They were saying it's maybe 3 years old, but the parts inside are 8 years old. Step up. So yeah, that's my first turkey. My other one is big name sequels or franchises that were kind of failed to deliver this year, that expectations might have been pretty high. Namely, Resident Evil 5 I was slightly disappointed with. I actually never finished it. That's kind of a bummer.
You know what?
Sheva,
I'm surprised you didn't finish that game.
I got halfway through and it just didn't grab me enough to make me want to just keep going and finish it all the way.
The last one was such an advancement, and then this one, just...
Co-op was fun, but if you're not doing a co-op, it's a little annoying.
I think that was a problem. I got to admit.
I still enjoyed the hell out of that
No,
game.
it's a great game. I mean, I finished it, but...
I really liked it.
Where is it on the Game of Year list? It hasn't made it. On any list. The VGA list, it's not there.
It didn't even get nominated for a category.
Yeah.
And it had impressive visuals. I mean, and then the other one that I was not gung-ho about was Halo ODST. I couldn't really get into the single-player campaign. I thought it was so different from Halo 3 in parts, and I didn't really like the campaign at all. So that was a hard game to get into, and I did not finish that one either.
Poo-pooing some big games. And Mr. Stevens.
I got a couple turkeys. I think that seems to be the running theme. No individual game actually stuck out as a big turkey for me. I'm not the biggest Borderlands fan, but I can see what it is. But pre-order shenanigans. I have no problem with pre-orders, but I think we've talked about this a bit with just like unlocking multiplayer modes, things that break the game that are beyond cosmetic. It's just not a huge fan of. I like rewarding pre-orders. It's cool, and I understand why the industry does pre-orders. I'm fine with that, but some of this stuff like get double experience, win 10 races against your friends.
Well, I think retail in general right now is kind of screwy because they're basing their orders on how many pre-orders there are for a game, so that determines how many they buy initially in the ship lot.
But it's always been like that. That's
right,
the way it's
right,
always gone. But I mean,
that's why they do this. Because this is what
believe me, I
manipulates.
understand the principles behind it, but I think it's gotten a little out of hand as of late and kind of exponentially growing more and more insane. I mean, you had a flow chart for how to order Dragon Age, basically. The PSP Go, a little bit of a turkey. I may be one of the few people that thinks it's actually a little more comfortable, but not being able to get your old UMDs on there, not the smaller screen, still no second analog stick. Anyone who's played the new Assassin's Creed on the PSP, I think at this point, I think we can say there's been a fundamental design flaw with the PSP.
And why didn't they fix it?
And they have great games, but they don't have many.
They've released
great
how many
games.
versions of it, and they just refuse to put the second stick on there.
Except there's that mod. Some kid modded a second one on. That's pretty amazing. And this is, I think, a nascent turkey is the Halo Waypoint and Ubisoft Uplay with these new loyalty programs. I like being rewarded, but I don't like where it's going, where we're going to have to log in for 800 different things. When we saw this, I remember when Skate came out and we were trying to capture Skate video to the EA servers, and you had to have an EA account and all this stuff. and it's kind of cool, but part of me also wants to vomit with all of this stuff, even though I'm saving up my Uplay points to get cool stuff in Splinter Cell. So I'm also a huge
Guilty.
hypocrite, and I'm going to go play my PSP Go now,
Wow.
which I don't actually own, so I'm lying.
While pre-ordering,
I'm also a liar.
While pre-ordering games from GameStop.
Hypocritical liar, Ryan Stevens.
Yes.
And for me, I'm just going to choose one, but I think this will ultimately branch out into some further discussion. The big turkey for me this year is definitely Tony Hawk Ride. Not just the game itself, which is absolutely abysmal, but also the way Activision handled the coverage of the reviews for the game. After we went and bought it, they still haven't sent us the game. We've spent a week playing this game. And first of all, anyone who went to their 3-hour review event and put up a review based upon that time is full of There's no way in hell you could have played this game enough in 3 hours to review the game. Johnny played it yesterday, capturing for 8 hours? And didn't even get, probably a third of the way through the game? So anyone who says they finished this game, first of all, if anyone says they finished this game in 3 hours, liar.
Liar.
Pants on fire.
It's total bullshit. I mean, there's no way you could finish this game in 3 hours.
Well, it takes 2 hours to get acclimated to the board.
Right. And if that person takes a half hour just to calibrate the board.
True, yeah.
So, and then anyone who says that, okay, well, I played it and finished it in 3 hours, well, then they should have given that game a perfect 10. Because the reason you can't finish the game in 3 hours is because it's the biggest piece of shit. Wow. It just doesn't work. That's all there is to it. Somebody at some point, look, I know Tony has made Activision millions and millions of dollars, and vice versa. Activision has made Tony millions and millions of dollars, and nobody loves Tony Hawk more than me. I was a skate grommet from the early 80s. I had Tony Hawk's haircut.
T-Mobile Sidekick may like him a little more than you.
Maybe a little more. I had his haircut. I wore his shorts. I bought his boards. I loved and still love and respect Tony Hawk. But somebody at some point in this process should have went to him and said, look, man, it doesn't work. So instead of them doing that and having the balls to circumvent the process and just head the thing off at the pass, they do this kind of stealth launch, hoping that they still get the sales from the game from the loyalists that this franchise has had and has built over the years. Mm-hmm. And basically people that are naive that see a commercial and they're like, that looks cool. I've carried this board in and out of my building now for 5 days straight. And every time I get on the elevator to go up to my apartment, there's somebody in the elevator that's like, oh, how is that? And when I tell them it's awful, they're shell-shocked. They're like, what? It looks so awesome. But the game, it's unplayable. You can set it on the casual setting where it actually steers for you, and you can make progress through the game that way. I don't see how you can even make progress playing it on the other two difficulties. You can't steer the board straight. It's like Gran Turismo. It's like they put me in a $200,000 car, and I can't get that car around a frickin' turn. I guarantee if you put my ass in a Lamborghini, I can drive it around a turn at 60 miles an hour without smashing into a guardrail. It's not realistic. It's just the way it is. So definitely my big turkey, Tony Hawk Ride, not just the game because it is really poor, but also the way it was handled by Activision is as far as not canceling the game when it should have been, and two, the way they handled the reviews. Big, big turkey for me. I hate to end the show on such a sour note.
You know what, Shane? I am proud of you. You know what? I have not seen you spout that much bile about a game, and
usually that bile's towards you.
That normally towards me. Yeah, normally you've drenched it. No, I'm with you. I actually just saw Johnny playing it, and it just looks so stupid.
And just so it's not me, Johnny, I know you're not mic'd, but do you agree with my assessment having played the game for 2 days?
To Ryan's chest.
It's a piece of
Well, I'll say one thing. I'm blind in one eye, and I have really poor balance, and I fell off the thing. So I probably would crash that Lamborghini, but yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Have you guys seen some of the reviews that went up for that game, like in the first day or so?
Weren't
they
they
gave
in
it
the
like
90s?
9s
Yeah.
and 9.2s. I read some of those reviews. I was like, oh my god.
Actually, anybody
Like, those people should be removed from Metacritic, should be removed from game rankings. Like, that is just blatantly paid advertorial.
Well, these PR people, they're sneaky. But I actually,
But not you.
No. I'd actually call out props to actually Jeff Gertzman and Giant Bomb, because he went to that event, and as soon as he got back, he's like, I got like 15 minutes out of the 3 hours, and he also lambasted them. And especially given Jeff's track record with
we got much love for Jeff Gertzman.
Yeah, so I think everybody, after watching this and watching Shane's review, they should also just go and check that out on Giant Bomb. Just for
also, on a side note, Candy Lynch 2 announced.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure Jeff's happy about that.
Just a coincidence.
Well, I mean, it's good now that they've announced one of our turkeys for next year.
Ooh, let's not write it off yet. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Everyone have a great holiday weekend. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Invisible Walls and all its turkeys are up and out. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.